Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lawfeld Agrochem, together cultivating your success.
If you're watching this, you are supporting the movement to create a better future for all farmers. Hello, I'm Roseanne McKenzie.
And I'm Wilson Pinkosi. A warm welcome to Niche Farmers.
In this episode of Niche Farmers,
we visit Abalone in Hermanas, where they cultivate abalone, the world's most desirable seafood, in close harmony with nature.
From there, we travel to Brits, where we meet Kabelo Le Kalakala, an ostrich farmer.
Plus, we introduce Vutlari Chauke, who farms herbs and vegetables on a commercial scale in Tolton, Gauteng.
From abalone production to ostrich to herbs and vegetables, we've got another jam-packed episode lined up.
And some interesting guests, and all we now need is you, our VIP viewers.
True. Let's start today's show down in the Cape, more specifically in the picturesque Hermanus, where AbaGold cultivates abalone, the world's most desirable seafood in close harmony with nature.
The pristine, cool waters of the Atlantic Ocean provide the necessary nutrients and environment for the production of the highest quality abalone.
The abalone species, Haliotis medae, is revered around the world and is unique to our coastline. AbaGold export live, canned and dried abalone all over the world and build lasting relationships with their customers and consumers.
Niche Farmers pay them a visit to find out more about this exquisite niche product.
AbaGold was a brainchild of a local vet, Dr. Pierre Hugo. About 30 years ago, he had the idea to breed abalone on land. He saw what was happening in the ocean with abalone being depleted, poaching starting, and he got it right. And in 1995, the company started commercially. There's no handbook for this. And as we learned, we started developing, and from 1995 to now, the company has been built from a small export abalone farm to one of the larger ones land-based in the world. To breed abalone, you need males and females. They're two separate ones. They don't breed like other animals. They're what we call broadcast spawners. So they release the eggs and the sperm into the water column. It mixes, it fertilizes the eggs, and then it forms a small little larvae. This larvae swims around for a few days, finds a little spot on a rock, or in our case, we've got plates prepared with diatoms for them. They go through a phase of metamorphosis, changing into a baby abalone. They will then stay on those plates for anything between 6 and 9 months. From there, they will be transferred to the next phase of their growth. There they will be starting to feed off macroalgae, which is seaweed we grow ourselves, as well as some of the kelp you can see behind me in the ocean that we harvest. We then have to look after them every day, supplying them with water, cleaning their tanks and feeding them for at least 4 years before they're market ready. Then we decide where they will be going. Either we'll be exporting them as live abalone, or we'll be processing them into dried, which is a very high value product, or we will be canning them for the markets and supermarkets in Asia. To grow 600 tons of abalone, we need about 10 to 15 million liters of seawater every hour. That's a lot of energy. Our other challenge is that the abalone needs to be fed every day, and the tanks needs to be cleaned, and that's an extremely labor-intensive process. So we've got almost 450 people working here full-time, looking after all the abalone, making sure they are happy all the time. AbaGold's plan in the future is to continue growing abalone better, focusing on quality, food safety, and safety of our workers. We want to play an active role in the community, be part of the greater Hermanus, and we've got the vision of being abalone of the world, AbaGold abalone of the world as well, where we supply many countries in many formats and also produce abalone from other areas, ensuring that the species of abalone will be protected and be available to consumers in the future.
What an inspiring story. It fills me with so much pride to see what South Africans can produce and cultivate.
Very true that, Roseanne. And I mean, abalone is something very, very special. Just like our guest. He's equally special.
Thank you,
Mali Kwaju, Mhlekazo Mhle. It's great to see you on the show again.
Mali, tell us, have you ever had the pleasure, I suppose, of eating abalone?
Absolutely, Roseanne. I grew up in the Hermanus Walker Bay area where most of the abalone farms are. And I remember as kids, we used to take out a few just to taste, and it tastes delicious. But it's illegal to take out many of them.
Yeah.
And there are today's commercial farms that most certainly make a production out of this, a bigger production out of this. Yes, but people used to live from abalone in small batches, just taking them from the ocean.
Why do you think it's so expensive? Is it because it's labor intensive to get it out, or because, I mean, you don't just go and sow a few seeds and there grows the abalone?
I think there's a lot of factors to it. And some of the factors is, of course, that it grows so slowly over a long period of time. Obviously now, with new technology in the commercial farms, things have changed a bit. But from what I know is traditionally, to grow to fruition can take up to 8 to 10 years. So that plays a role. And obviously the rarity of it. And then there's the component of abalone poaching over a very long time. And I remember as a young journalist, I used to write a lot about this while I was still in Cape Town, about abalone poaching. And it's just also difficult to access and difficult to produce. And all those factors play a role in making it so expensive to cultivate.
So, Mtanomhle, I think this is what it comes down to, and that is someone saw an opportunity and identified a gap, and they had the guts and the courage of their conviction to start Abagold, the same way that you do with any agri-business, right?
Flekazi, we're blessed with the ocean. And I remember government a couple of years ago launched Operation Pagisa. And that is to, I don't want to say take advantage, but appreciate the ocean economy. And I think this is where this industry is coming from. Obviously, we're aware of the fishing and all other products and so on. Abalone is just one of many, but the more difficult one, I would say. So yes, definitely, you know, the ocean is there, and we are just, can I say harvesting? But the problem is also we should not over-harvest because these are rare species and they're quite special as well.
Correct.
I would definitely watch that insert again. And if you want to do the same, all you have to do is this.
Niche Farmers is on every week. Same time, same place. But if a weekly dose of Niche Farmers is just not enough, or you maybe want to watch an episode again, even share the episode with friends and family, you can. SMS FARM to 32210 and we'll send you a return SMS in no time. Click on the link we're sending you to open the info wrap. Then simply complete the form and submit.
Remember to SMS FARM to 32210 and get our weekly wrap articles with all the episodes. You'll be so glad you did.
You'll also find information about Debt Safe there. After all, we want financially healthy farmers.
Especially if you're struggling to cover what you owe with what you earn, struggling to live on what's left.
Then you're probably over-indebted and in desperate need of a helping hand. Fortunately, Debt Safe is here. It is here to empower you, to help you take control of your debt.
No repossessions, no creditor problems, no stress, no mess, no fuss. And when you're done, no bad credit record. From the moment you start your debt consolidation journey with Debt Safe, you're on the road back to financial freedom.
Take control of your debt. Visit debtsafe.co.za today. That's debtsafe.co.za.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
After the break,
we travel to Brits, where we meet Kabelo Lekalakala, an ostrich farmer.
Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lafeld Agrochem. Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lafeld Agrochem.
Welcome back. We now travel to Brits, where we meet Kabelo Lekalakala from Pitso Ostrich Farm.
Kabelo felt a deep conviction to start ostrich farming in the Northwest following 2 years of exposure in the ostrich production and value chain in Oudtshoorn.
An ostrich farm in Brits? I cannot wait to see this. Enjoy.
The journey started in 2019, whereby I find myself traveling all the way from Oudtshoorn. At the back of my car, there's a small car, I've got 15 chicks of ostrich chicks at the back. I'm traveling 1,500 kilometers all the way from the Western Cape to the side. And my vision, or rather my mission then, was that let me try to replicate what I've seen in the Western Cape in the Northwest, where it's home, because charity begins at home. So yeah, I come this side Then I soon got to realize that there is an opportunity in this niche market. It just wants more participants to grow the industry and even educate consumers, you know. Profitability, I believe so. I strongly believe so, given that the industry is so small, yet it's a 1.2 billion rands industry with about only 500 ostrich registered farmers concentrated at the side. The journey thus far, as far as technical support, it has been a very challenging, a lonely one, I must say, because such enterprise is a unique and it's new here. We need the expertise, the support, and I was of an impression that I wouldn't battle this long. But the very much appreciated and valued stakeholders in this enterprise thus far is each and every farmer within the Northwest, Mpumalanga, Free State, and Limpopo. In fact, I'm getting much love from Limpopo, and I'm appreciative of that reception. The guys that wants to buy ostrich farmers to grow ostriches to grow them, because of that is my market, which is a primary stakeholders for the venture's existence. Just start, eh? Just start. Don't calculate the cost. Had I calculated the cost, I wouldn't have started, I believe. And the thing with me is that I can be very impulsive at times. Driven by passion or driven by my convictions, I can be very stubborn or tenacious. It has its pros and cons, but start with the little that you have, eh? Sacrifice at some point, tone down on your lifestyle, you know, preferences, and invest in what you believe in what makes you happy, and over time somebody will see you and will help you to push the wagon that could be heavy on you.
Abuti Kabelo, so great to meet you, sir.
What a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me, Mr. Nkosi.
Yes, and very well done on your ostrich farm. Clearly, you're not one to bury your head in the sand. I've always wondered why ostriches cannot fly.
Oh, yeah. I must say, given my interactions with ostriches thus far, I'm grateful that they cannot fly. But in a nutshell, one could give a simplistic answer to say that the anatomy of ostriches, it is big, the body-wise, yet the wings are too small. So it wouldn't be possible for the wings to carry that amount or that weight of the body that it could penetrate the atmosphere and defy gravity.
The ostrich obviously has many parts of it that can be used in production. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
That's right. The main three income stream in ostrich farming will be post-production will be the meat, the skin, and the feathers. And they contribute meat and the latter, they contribute 45%, and only 10% remaining to the feather trade.
Oh. Can you tell us why ostrich meat has become so popular?
I believe the growing patterns of people wanting to eat healthier, it is one of the driving forces behind that. Hence, Pizza Ostrich Farm is trying to drive a narrative to say that the South Africans, the local market, should try and switch and explore alternative, healthier meat, which is the ostrich meat.
Kabelo Lekalakala, you are a bright spark, and we wish you well, sir. But before you go, we have a gift for you.
Wow.
It is our token of appreciation.
Oh, wow.
For all the good work that you've done. The Niche Farmer stamp of approval.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngozi. It's indeed been a privilege and honor being here. Thank you for having me.
It's well deserved.
Thank you.
Well, don't go away. We'll be right back.
After the break,
We introduce Vutlari Chauke, who farms herbs and vegetables on a commercial scale in Taunton, Gauteng.
Plus, it's competition time.
Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lafeld Agrochem. Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lafeld Agrochem.
Welcome back to the show that changes lives for the better.
From abalone and ostrich farming, we now turn our attention to herbs and veggies. Meet Vutlari Chauke, CEO and owner of Viti Harvest.
Based in Tarleton, Johannesburg, Vutlari grows herbs such as baby fennel, coriander and wild rocket, as well as veggies like lettuce, tomatoes and spring onions in a 23 greenhouse tunnel agribusiness, which was established in 2017.
Now, what sets her business apart is the fact that her crops are planted according to internationally approved health and safety standards. As a result, she has earned Global GAP certification, a globally recognized farm certification scheme. This is her story.
After doing a lot of research and realizing that there were a lot of opportunities for black females in the agri space, I didn't have land. I'm originally from Limpopo, based here in Johannesburg. So the only option that I had then was to actually go and lease land. So I started by driving around Gauteng for a period of 3 months without luck every Saturday until I just walked into one farm. I said to this guy, "Hi, I'd like to lease a tunnel." I had to convince him to allow me to lease a few greenhouse structures at his farms and also for him to provide mentorship. And that's how it started back in 2017. I quit corporate. The only responsibility I had then was really my cactus. And I thought to myself, if this thing doesn't work out, the worst thing that could happen, I'll move back to my dad's house and start again. So I started experimenting with herbs. We started growing rocket because it was part of crop rotation, but also we're growing fancy lettuce and other things. And I realized, oh my goodness, the rand per kilo for herbs is much better than trying to grow big heads of cabbage. So, and that's why herbs are so exciting for me. It's because there are a wide variety of herbs available out there. I'm able to provide 12 different product lines to one single customer. And also because I'm a foodie, I keep on experimenting with different herbs. I keep getting it wrong and some of them I get them right, but it's very exciting for me to work with herbs. So ultimately, customers are looking for products that have a high quality, that have a long shelf life, but also products that have been responsibly grown. And for us, in terms of producing our herbs, that's the approach that we've been following to make sure that when we are producing our herbs, we also look after the environment. We're not spraying harsh chemicals because at the end of the day, we need to be responsible producers. So if you want to come into farming, there are a lot of opportunities in agriculture. It does not have to be primary agriculture. You can go into agro-processing. The opportunities where instead of growing tomatoes, you can dry tomatoes. Instead of growing herbs, you can dry herbs. So it's a really exciting industry with so many opportunities for people to explore.
Welcome, Sesi Vutlari. It is so wonderful to have you with us. You are such an inspiration. I mean, to think that you only started this business in 2017 and it has grown in leaps and bounds. What made you go this way?
For me, I've always known that entrepreneurship was the end goal. I invested a lot in business studies in my younger days. So when I felt that it was time to leave corporate, I started doing research on industries in which I could tap into. And agriculture just popped out. It seemed like there were so many opportunities because also there weren't a lot of black women at the time. And that's why I chose agriculture.
That's actually my next question to you, Vutlari, is to ask you, there were a lot of new entrants to the field and young, ambitious, driven farmers. What drives you as a black female farmer?
I think what drives me, first of all, is I'm a person who's not afraid of failure. I am willing to try new things. Yeah. But also for me, what drives me is the fact that in agriculture, there are so many opportunities to grow. One of them being the change that we're able to impact in the local communities that we're working in. I've seen how my journey in trying to be successful has impacted so many families in the community where I'm working, where for me it's just to make profits. But with those people that work for me, for them it's families. Yeah. I come from a family where my father was the only person that was educated. But from him being the only person that's educated, it has changed our generation forever. So it's not just the profits, but also I think the people that get to work with me, how I see them grow. Yeah. And that's what makes it amazing.
But Larry, you say it's not just the profits. Yeah. Who do you supply?
So we have a diversified market that we supply because of the different products that we grow at the farm. pre-COVID, there were certain customers I was not willing to even try and pursue. But because we're only growing niche products, which are herbs. So your mint, your corianders, your thyme. But it came hard lockdown. All of those products were not moving. And luckily at the time, we had just received funding from the SAB Urban Agri Program, and we were growing tomatoes hydroponically. And all of a sudden now, Ubaba Baloyo, who sells tomatoes in the street, is now my customer. He is coming directly to the farm to procure for me. So now having hawkers, now we're supplying the Joburg and Tshwane markets as well. That has really just diversified our customer base. And it's really such a joy to be able to serve different customers, because you're also managing concentration risk.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because strategic partnerships are very, very important, and I'm glad that you touched on that. Do you have mentors or something?
Wilson, I would not be here if it was not for my mentors.
Right.
I almost quit 3 times on this journey. Luckily, I had a mentor who encouraged me to stay the course. But furthermore, he helped me to understand how to scan the agriculture industry, how to understand the markets, how to plan productively, how to position one. But also he introduced me to the concept of using suppliers as strategic cogs to the business, because now my suppliers help me in my production planning. When I'm planning a new crop, I'm able to call them and say, hey guys, do you know someone who has grown this product before? What was their experience? How do you think I can, grow this optimally at my farm? So yes.
Yeah. So Butlari, it has been wonderful to have you on the show, and all the very best to you. And you're one bright light. We really, really wish you well. You're a trailblazer and a trendsetter.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you.
Right, folks, that brings us to a very important part of today's show, competition time.
The third prize, valued at over 10,000 Rand, gives you a double bed with mattress protector and a set of pillows, plus Lafeld seed packs. That's treated seeds and fertilizer, enough to produce vegetables for a family of 8 for an entire year. The second prize includes a queen-sized bed set, mattress protector and set of pillows, plus the Lafeld seed packs, all valued at over 15,000 Rand. And finally, the first prize. The lucky overall winner gets a king-size bed set, mattress protector, headboard and set of pillows. The Lafeld seed packs plus 50,000 Rand in cash.
Before we say goodbye, here's a quick reminder to look out for AgriSkills' upcoming short courses, ideal for anyone who wants to start farming. Here are their contact details.
And folks, don't worry if you missed any of the information. It's all available on our apps, for which you simply have to SMS FARM to 32210.
Thank you to you, Mali Gwatu, our featured guest today. You are always such a pleasure to have on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And of course, to all of our featured farmers, a big thank you to them as well. Without them, there would be no future for any of us. Celebrate them, and if you can, become one of them.
Till next week, friends, goodbye. And please go like our Facebook page if you haven't already done so.
Yes, let's build the movement together, the Niche Farmers Movement. Take care.
Take my hand, stand tall on my shoulders, I'll shine a light for you to see. Together we rise.
Niche Farmers is proudly brought to you by Lafeld Agrochem. Together cultivating your success.